Hey y'all, let's make a meatloaf. Got me some hamburger meat. Y'all, it was expensive, but I can't help it. I have to eat. This was $3.54 a pound. Now, I don't know what y'all are paying, but that's what I had to pay. So this little bit right here was $8, $8.04 for just this. So let me push you back a little bit where y'all can see, and I'll get way over here. We'll do catty corner. That way y'all can see in the pan a little better. There you go. All right, so I'm making for a crowd. So I'm just going to dump this in my bowl. I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on it. Oh, it's fun to make this. Y'all, I felt so drained today. I did. I just felt drained. Okay. We're going to put 2 eggs. Sometimes I just put 1 if I got a little bit of meat, but that's a pretty good bit of meat, don't you think? So I'm going to put 2 eggs. I'm going to cut up a bell pepper. Now, my daughter-in-law, Anna, she doesn't like bell pepper in hers. I've already washed it. I like it in mine. I like it in mine. But y'all can make it like you want to, okay? And it'll be fine and dandy. I think some of you said y'all weren't cooking any because it was too hot. Well, I'm telling you, it is hot, isn't it? They're redoing the road in front of my house. So I had to go around the world to get home from the grocery store. But I got home all right, so that was a good thing. Let's see, what is happening? I told y'all about the Lee Greenwood concert. Or show, he's going to sing. And I told you about the Vietnam traveling wall. Which, all that starts this Thursday. All right, here's how you do your bell peppers. You got this to cut up. So just do you some skinny slivers like this. I call them skinny slivers. Well, you get my knife going here. Something's not right. There we go. And then I'm going to put them all together and cut them up. Like this. You know, a lot of people think that, I've heard them say, oh, we don't have any money. We're eating meatloaf. Well, y'all, I love meatloaf. I think it is delicious. If you don't like it, you must be making it wrong. My son-in-law, Walt, he likes meatloaf sandwiches. Dallas likes meatloaf with cornbread. He likes cornbread muffins and meatloaf. Actually, Anna, my daughter-in-law, cooks her meatloaf in a muffin tins. I don't. I use that pan that came with your oven so the grease can fall out. Then hold all those little things together like that. And then you can just cut them. And then cut them as thin as you want to. Cut little bitty pieces. I didn't sleep good last night. I rolled and I tossed and I tumbled and everything else. But the night before that, I slept real good. I dreamed all night. All night long, I dreamed. I mean, I dreamed and dreamed and dreamed and dreamed. I'm thinking, my goodness. How's y'all's life been lately? Any of you having any problems? Are you having chilling problems or marital problems or financial problems or health issues? If you are, what have you done about it? Have you tried to fix it? Have you asked the Lord to show you how? I know that a lot of people are having trouble. I know that. And when I go to the grocery store, I know it because people are standing there looking at everything, wondering what they can buy. I want to tell y'all something funny that happened the other day. I might have already told y'all this, but I don't know if I have or not, but I'm telling it again. I'm telling it again. I have a girlfriend that loves cherries, and I love cherries. I know I told y'all this. I did. I told y'all. Maybe you didn't see that video, though. So now we've got that much in it. I'm going to put a half onion and see how that looks. If I need it, I'm going to put the whole thing in there. Anyway, so she saw that bag of cherries in the grocery store. You know, it comes in a bag, kind of like grapes come in a bag. So it was $5.80-something cents or 90-something cents for that bag of cherries, or so she thought. So she bought it and went home and enjoyed her cherries. Well, the next day, I was in the grocery store and I saw it. And I knew it meant per pound. That was per pound. Those cherries were $5 and something per pound. So I thought, well, I wonder how many pounds are in this sack. So I went over there to the little scales and I weighed it. And it was 3 pounds. And I thought, glory. You think about that. You got to say 3 times 15, times 5. We'll just say it was $5.75. Well, if you do that, you're talking almost $20 for a bag of cherries. Well, needless to say, I didn't buy it. But she did. And I told her the next day, we were talking about the cherries. I said, yeah, I didn't buy it. It was too expensive. She said, I thought it was a good buy. And I said, darling, you didn't pay that for that bag of cherries. You paid that per pound. Well, she liked to have had a fit. She didn't realize it. All right, y'all, this is what we're going to put in it. And I may put an extra onion. I think I will, because that's a lot of meat. So I'm going to turn you off while I cut up this little next part. I decided I'm not cutting up the whole half onion. I'm just going to cut up a quarter of it, because a half of it wasn't enough, but another half is just too much. So I'm going to just cut up this little quarter of an onion. I'm sleepy. Are y'all sleepy? Do you get that way in the afternoon and need a cup of coffee? I've got a cup over there waiting on me, but I hadn't had it. I hadn't partaken of it yet. I ran my sprinkler all day yesterday and got in the bed last night and remembered I left my sprinkler on. So I had to get up, turn on the spotlights, put on my galosha boots because it was so wet out there where I'd sprayed the hose, and my gown. You should have seen me with boots on, my gown, and my phone flashlight. I'm glad nobody did see me. They would have thought I was a nut. Anyway, the children are fixed to start going back to college and going back to school. And y'all encourage them. Encourage them. They need encouragement. They need it so bad. All right, I think this little bit right here is going to make a big difference. All right, put that in there. All right, now let me get out my other stuff. All right, so we've got our onions, our peppers, our meat, and 2 eggs. And now we're going to put in some crackers. And you want these crushed up. So we're going to crush them up. This is how I do it. See there? Then I just have to do like this, and they're just crushed up fine. Y'all ever done them that way before? It's good exercise. Just push down so hard. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna put this whole thing in there because that was a big old poundage of meat right there. I don't know how many pounds it was. I didn't tell y'all, did I? And I've already thrown my package. No, I didn't. Let's see how many pounds it is. Let's see what it says. It's 2.27 pounds. Almost 3 pounds. Okay. We're going to put this in. Somebody gave me some new kitchen scissors. Thank you. All right, you put this in. And you're going to put in, this is a can of tomato sauce. I'm going to put in half of it and see how that works. And then I'll see. All right, this is the fun part. You get to get your hands down in it. You're going to squash it all together. Anyway, what I was telling you about people saying that this is a poor man's food. Well, when I was a little girl, bologna was a poor man's food. And we'd have fried bologna and fried this and fried that. But we fried bologna and then we'd have bologna sandwiches and that kind of stuff. We went on a picnic, we'd have bologna sandwiches. And here's the facts. Bologna is not a cheap meat anymore. Matter of fact, it's kind of expensive. If you figured it out per pound, you'd see. But I do love fried bologna. I love it. I don't think that's enough salt and pepper. It doesn't look like it. Let me put a little extra pepper and salt in here. What I'm doing, y'all, I'm having some company tomorrow. So what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and making this up so I have to spend all morning doing it. And I'm gonna get it out in the morning, put it in my pan and cook it, and it'll be ready. And hopefully I'll show it to you when I take it out tomorrow. Got 2 more college girls coming from college. It's Pam and Andre. Carol went home, or she didn't go home. She left here, went to see that grandbaby that she is attached to at the hip. All right, there we go. And I'll show y'all how I'm making my loaf. I'm going to make a long loaf. And you know that pan that came in your oven, it's a big pan, and then it's got a top that goes on it with holes going this way. It's a broiler pan. That's what I'm going to cook it out of. That way the juice can drip out. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan so that when the juice drips out, it won't stink and burn. It'll just sit there in that water. All right, I'm going to put this in a small bowl so it will fit in my refrigerator. Let me get this out. I hope it'll fit in here. We'll see. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, you see there? It is ready now to just put on my pan, and I've got my meat done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run it down the top of it, and it'll make it taste good and look pretty. I'll save it till tomorrow. All right, so that's my meatloaf, and that's how we're going to make it. And that'll be a good thing. That'll be a good thing. What's happening in your life? Some of y'all are telling me what's happening in your life. I'll tell you what's happening in mine. I've been busy as a beaver. Busy as a beaver. When my brother was a little boy, they used to call him Beaver because his 2 front teeth stuck out like that. But I was the first child. And I needed braces on the bottom teeth. I didn't on my top. They were straight, but the bottom was crooked. But being a first child, my mom and daddy didn't know to get me braces, so therefore I didn't get them. But when the next child came along, he didn't get them either, but I don't think he needed them. But that kid, the baby boy, he needed them, and he got them. So he had straight teeth. But anyway, I sure did need them. Banks got braces the other day. I told her I'd fix her some Jell-O. pudding or whatever, so her mouth wouldn't hurt. All right, well, listen, I may see y'all tomorrow when I put this on the pan and cook it so that you can see the finished product. We'll see. Good morning, everybody. Listen, I got the meatloaf in the pan, and I want to show you something. Now, look, this usually comes with your oven, this kind of pan like this. And it's called a broiler pan. And what I did is I put a little water in the bottom. That's so when the meatloaf grease comes out, it won't stick to the bottom. And then I greased the top with a little Crisco. Then I formed my loaf. And then I put a little tiny trench in it, just about that thick, about a ½ inch. And when I did that, I poured the rest of my tomato sauce on the top, and I'm gonna cook it on about 375, and I don't know how long till it looks done. I'll show you when it comes out, okay?